Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Gothard here with Project Egg, and I wanted to take a few minutes to really tell you, thanks, Chris. Got a buddy of mine here. We're working together, got a brainstorming session, getting things going and making things happen. And it's actually interesting that happened because what I wanted to talk about today is being very deliberate about the people who you allow into your inner circle, right? And I just want to tell you that I'm not talking from my own expertise. Um, I want to really share something that I learned from somebody who's truly an expert at this. And that individual is Dr. Ivan Misner. Now, this gentleman came on to my podcast, the Project Egg Show, and honestly, he came on twice, and they were some of the best interviews that I've ever had, that I've ever had the pleasure of being a part of, because Dr. Ivan Misner is the founder of BNI, Business Networking International, which is one of the biggest, largest, if not the largest on the planet, networking organizations. Now, Dr. Misner has built his company up to an extraordinary level, absolutely an extraordinary level. Last year, for example, last year being 2018, they did over 14 billion in referrals. That is incredible. That is truly incredible, right? So Dr. Ivan Misner came on the interview, and he was the one who imparted this knowledge. It's not me, right? I'm not the one here pretending to be the expert. I truly want to point you in the direction of somebody who is an expert, right? He's been called the father of modern networking by CNN. I know I keep going on and on about how awesome Dr. Ivan Misner is, and that's because he is that awesome, right? And he's a huge role model to me. Honestly, a great friend too. His interview is actually on Project Egg too. If you want, you can go check that out. But one of the things that he really talked about a lot in the interviews, both of them, was being very intentional about who you surround yourself with. The reason is because you're influenced by those who are around you. It's just human nature. We can't actually put up walls and prevent any sort of influence from the people around us. I mean, there's a natural, like, it's like they rub off on you, right? It's very natural, and it happens, and a lot of the times we don't even know, right? I've had, over the last 4 years, I've had to make some really tough choices about who to let into my life, because I've been an entrepreneur now for 4 years. There's a lot of people who I used to be friends with that I don't really spend as much time with because they're not trying to go to the same place as me. They don't have the same goals. They don't have the same, the same paths. Our paths do not cross. It doesn't mean I love them any less. That doesn't mean that I think that they're better than me or I'm better than them. I think we're all equal, but I think we're on different paths. And so, I'm trying to go a certain place. So I want to surround myself with people who are also trying to go to that same place, right? And Dr. Misner really had a brilliant concept, and I'll just share a few because he really goes into depth in the interview. But what he was saying was, imagine your life and the people in your life as being a room. And anybody who comes into the room, right, they are there permanently. And nobody can get out of the room. People can only come in. Think about that. The people who come into your life and who influence you and who you interact with, that influence is permanent. And now you may have other influences from other people, but that doesn't get rid of the influences of other people, right? It's just adding on to it. So if you are spending time with people who are dragging you down, who are extremely negative, who are holding you back, that is permanent. That is going to influence you. So when Dr. Misner put it that way, I started thinking, and it was the reason why I had to do this video, was to share with all of you this concept. Again, it's Dr. Misner's, right? It's just so profound that the people who even 10 years ago had an impact on you, it's still there, right? Like their impact is still there on you. So what that means, what are the implications of that? The implications are we have to be really, really careful about who we spend our time with, who we let influence us, who we surround ourselves with. Honestly, it's really tough. It's really tough to say to somebody, hey, I can't spend as much time with you, or not spend time with them, and choose to almost neglect them, to not maliciously, but just not spend time with them. I mean, that's hurtful to a lot of people, and people know. I mean, they can tell that you're not spending time with them because you're just not there, right? But sometimes you just have to look after yourself. At least that's my opinion, right? That last sentence, I think we need to look after ourselves by surrounding ourselves with people that are going to help us go up. That's my opinion. Now, Dr. Meisner, in the latest interview, was talking about how to really be intentional about building this network of people, or this history of people who are influencing you, right? He calls it your room. You know, the name of the book that he put out that really inspired the interview, right? Because he wanted to share these concepts. It's called Who's in Your Room. And Dr. Meisner does such a great job of going into detail on strategies to really be intentional about this and to create the life that you want. Not necessarily the life that you have now, but the life that you want. He gives some really powerful strategies for how to do that by being intentional about who you surround yourself with. So go check it out, projectegg.co. You can find it, the interview that is, on the website. And I'm telling you, the things that Dr. Meisner is sharing, it's incredibly powerful. It's profound, really. And I'm not saying that because it's something that I created. I mean, please don't get me wrong. Dr. Meisner's the man, and I can't really say enough about him, enough good things. So head on over to projectegg.co. Check that out. I guarantee you it will be worth your time. Have a great one.